If you've played any fighting game, you've probably run into situations where you have no idea what to do against some move your opponent is using. Luckily, there is a solution. Two words that seem to single-handedly scare people away from the entire genre. At its core, frame data is really simple. Frames are really just a way to precisely measure time in fighting games. Without frame data, you could just say, this move is super quick, or that move is out there forever, but frame data just tells us the exact speed of super quick, or the exact duration of forever. Why do we use frames as a measure of time in the first place? The illusion of motion is created by showing a series of static images in rapid succession. The quickest any change can occur is from one image to the next. Fighting games run at 60 frames per second. This means that the fastest anything can change is 1/60th of a second. To recap, it's 1 frame equals 1/60th of a second equals the smallest unit of time which can exist in a fighting game. The meat and potatoes of using frame data for problem solving is analyzing the frame data for moves. When doing this, we'll be looking at a couple different numbers for any one move. A move can whiff, meaning miss completely. It can hit an opponent, or it can be blocked by an opponent. Let's look at that first one. For a whiffed move, we've got 3 numbers. There's startup, so think of this as the windup. This is the number of frames a move takes to start before it can hit your opponent. After the startup, you've got your active frames, meaning during these frames, the move can actually hit your opponent. Last, you've got your recovery frames. The move can no longer hit anybody during these, but you have to wait until the animation completes before you're back to a neutral state and can act freely again. So for a whiffed move, you're looking at startup plus active plus recovery, which gives you the total time it takes the move to complete from start to finish. So this is the amount of time you're committed to that move and are potentially vulnerable. Let's look at a concrete example. Slayer has an anti-air done by pressing forward plus the punch button. This move can lead to massive rewards on hit, so what's to stop somebody from doing this move all the time? Let's look at the frame data for a solution. At 38 total frames, it's a really big commitment, so you could look to hit Slayer when he's out of range and flat out misses with the move. Next, let's look at when moves make contact with an opponent. When you're looking at all the frame data for a given move, you'll see the startup, active, and recovery frames that we've talked about so far. You'll also see numbers for when the move hits an opponent or is blocked by an opponent. Let's look at Magneto's beam in Marvel 3. There are a few different versions, but the frame data for the light version, the quickest one, looks like this. The first thing that stands out about this move is that it's really fast. You can threaten your opponent at any distance with something that starts up in just 7 frames. For comparison, in this same game, Dante doesn't have a single move that starts up that fast. On whiff, we can see it's a pretty high time commitment. Character mobility is really high in Marvel 3, so if you miss and your opponent is anywhere near you, you run the risk of getting hit. When a move makes contact, the frame data tells you who's free to act again first. A positive number is good for the attacker, they recover first. A negative number, like we see here in our Magneto example, is bad for the attacker. The beam is -24, meaning that if you block the beam, you can act 24 frames before Magneto. This is easy to see if both players hold up after the move is blocked. The player that blocked will jump a lot sooner. This means that if you block the move and have anything that reaches and starts up in 24 frames or less, you can hit him for free. On hit, you're basically back to a neutral situation. The frame data gives us a lot of insight into this move. We can see the startup is amazingly fast and makes the move seem almost too good at first. But we can also see that if Magneto misses, he's committed for a while and potentially vulnerable. After that, we get to probably the biggest weakness, that on block, the opponent gains the upper hand and may even be able to punish Magneto. Frame data can help you break down any element of a fighting game and really understand its strengths and weaknesses. You don't need to, and probably shouldn't for your own sanity, spend hours memorizing spreadsheets of frame data. Frame data is just there to help you quickly troubleshoot a specific move or tactic that you're having trouble dealing with. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for more information about the video, or you want to help support videos like these, here's where you'd go. Catch you next time.